students, I am Ishan Trivedi. Welcome you in the video lecture series. Today I am going to discuss about town planning in ancient India, origin and growth of town. In this session, I am going to cover town planning in ancient India, origin of town and the theory of growth of town. Now let us start with the town planning in ancient India. The first settlement of human was done in along the cradle of Indus Valley. And ultimately, we get our first settlement, that was Indus Valley civilization. It was occur 3000 BC, and from today it was the development of 5000 years old. Here you can see the Indo-Gangetic region, along which the river Sindhu, and all these development were done along the cradle of river Sindhu. The excavation carried out in the later half of 20th century at Mohenjo-daro, which is also known as Hill of Death on the Indus Bank, covering the area about 260 hectare, and Harappa on river Ravi, which is now located in Pakistan. Then Kalibangan in Rajasthan, Lothal, Surkotda and Dholavira in Gujarat, and at last Rakhigadi in Haryana. This shows the Indus Valley civilization had its beginning between 4000 BC to 3000 BC. This city had highly advanced system of town planning. The Indus Valley civilization had greatly developed as of the ancient Mesopotamia. So let us understand the salient feature of Indus Valley civilization. Here you can see two mounds. These mounds are the Indus Valley civilization was done at Mohenjo-daro. The city of Mohenjo-daro, as shown in your figure, was located on two mounds, as I said. One of the mound is 1183 meter by 546 meter, and the other one is 364 meter by 273 meter with the population of 70,000 person. The street 9 meter wide divided the city in 12 blocks. Each block contains 365 meter by 245 meter, and that is of sectoral development. And the layout of street was based on grid iron plan. The Gandhinagar city is also grid iron plan. Next, every house built on kiln brick, means red brick, and had complete bathing establishment. They entirely depend upon roof lighting and ventilation. A common well was provided to the group of the buildings. The city had a very well planned drainage system, and the drain lines were running under the walkways. There are provision of market halls, granaries, offices were neatly planned. The Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro had a remarkable system of filling and emptying of water, and it was made watertight with the layers of bitumen, and it was surrounded by toilets and private baths. This IVC was collapsed due to catastrophe. After centuries later, it was occupied by Aryas invaders in 1500 to 1000 BC, and it was the part of Vedic period. The town planning was done in Vedic period was scientific footing. In our Vedas, some of the principle and theories of town planning which resemble more or less to the modern concept of garden cities. In these Vedas period, the city were developed like Dandaka, Padmaka, Chaturmukha, Swastika, and these concepts in today's date they are adopted. After that, the next period was Buddhist period. It was up to 3000 AD. This period is of Kautilya or Chanakya, you can say, and development was done at Magadha. Takshashila and Nalanda were founded in this period. After that, the medieval period up to 14th century were established. There was gradual development of trade and commerce during this period. For example, Agra was very well known for its marble and perfumery. So the entire development were done based on trade and commerce activity. After that, Mughal period had come up, then British period. After British period, there was a time of pre-independent and post-independent, and later new concepts are introduced in 21st century. So this is the town planning of ancient India. Next, let us study the growth of Ahmedabad city. The Ahmedabad city was established in 1411, and this one is the map of the growth of town till today and comprises with the future growth of Ahmedabad city. This image is taken from Ahmedabad Development Plan. When the city was established, it had an area of 0.26 kilometer. As the time goes, city had expanded and the area was 5.7 square kilometer in 1857. Furthermore, when there is a peak of cotton mills in Ahmedabad, city furthermore expanded. At that time, the area was nearly to the 17 square kilometer in 1932. After the independence, the city had come up with its new area, which is at the other side of river Sabarmati bank, and in 1949 the new area come up on western part of Ahmedabad city, and the area was nearly 32 square kilometer. As time goes, city had expanded scatteredly and evenly in all those four directions. In 2012, it has an area of 338 square kilometer. In this centrally, you can see the Greater Ahmedabad map, which is the development of 2041. This is planned in such a way it will connect major location of Ahmedabad city outskirts area. For example, Sanand, Kalol, Dehgaam, Mehmedabad and Bareja. Next is origins of town. If survey is been carried out regarding the origin of some of the important and existing town and the city of the world, it can be seen easily the establishment that any town or city has originated because of certain specific cause and certain types of activities. The contributing forces for the origin of town and cities can broadly divided into two parts. These categories are topographical feature and functional aspect. So let us study the topographical feature which are contributing for the origins of town. These are the condition favorable for industries which attract merchants of all around the world, and the city was developed due to its economical activities. Then hilly areas to achieve the object of defense, plain areas useful for business activities and trade, river banks and sea and ocean fronts are one of the key gate for entering any region. So this is how the origins were done based on topographical feature. Now functional aspect. These are education, health resorts, political and religious. Next is growth of town. The growth of town depends on various forces which contribute to the overall development of town, such as transport facilities, installation of industries, expansion of factories, provision for defense or security, proximity of agriculture land, availability of electric power, political importance. So these are the governing factor for the development of a town. Furthermore, the growth of town to a large extent will depend on the economic forces because it is found that an urban area is usually a center of specialized activities, and that is called urban pool because all are attracted towards urban area. The size of town depends upon the amount of goods and services supplied to the outsider, means export. The export from a town bring more money to the town, which again supports the local products of goods and more employment opportunities and better facilities of education, recreation and business also enhance the growth of town. So based on that, the growth of town is classified as growth of town according to origin and growth of town according to direction. Furthermore, the growth of town according to origin classified as natural growth and planned growth, whereas growth of town according to direction classified as horizontal growth and vertical growth. Furthermore, these natural growth on the basis of growth of town according to origin is further classified as concentric spread, ribbon development, satellite growth and scattered growth. In this session, I am going to cover the growth of town according to origin, in that natural growth and planned growth is going to be discussed. So let us study the growth of town according to origin, in that first is natural growth. Most of the town in the past have grown in the natural way, and the development of a town has taken place without any future planning or any future consideration. Men took the decision regarding the growth of town for immediate comfort and convenience of resident and provision of these various essential amenities such as road system, park, playground, school, industrial units, commercial centers, hospitals, cinema, etc. are made in irregular way without any consideration of future expansion. In such towns, in future, face problems like congestion, noise pollution, and air pollution. Next is the plan growth. The town or city developed according to the master plan of a town. The overall growth of town is controlled by the enforcement of suitable rules and regulations. The provision of various amenities such as width of street, drainage line, water supply line, park, playground, etc. is made to meet with the future requirements. Now, what are the key factors which are suitable for selection of site for the town? These are the availability of good surroundings and climatic conditions, contours of that area, streams, lakes and fertile lands, availability of water sources, electric power, means of communication, transport, etc. Then the facilities of drainage and waste disposal, topography of the area, and last, frequency of floods and earthquake. So these are the suitable selection of site for any town. So I am ending this session here. I hope you have learned the ancient growth of town in India and origin and growth of town. Thanks for watching this video.